This is it, guys. This is number 6 of Series 2 of every Order 66 2-pack ever. If you guys have stuck with me through the previous 11 videos in this series, I really appreciate it. That's really awesome. Welcome to the last video of this series. There's going to be a playlist already made of all of these put together, so if you ever want to come back and revisit it, you can do that, and all of them will just be right there in one playlist for you to find. Jumping right into this pack, this is probably one of the most interesting, in my opinion, of the packs, mainly because of the history that is wrapped up in why they chose to make these two particular characters. So this pack comes with Jedi Master Sev and a yellow ARC Trooper. I guess technically he should be like an ARC Trooper commander, but he's an ARC Trooper. He is a yellow ARC Trooper. And at face value, it is a pretty cool pack, not gonna lie. If you don't know anything about the characters, even just looking at it, it's an interesting weak way Jedi and another clone trooper. Super cool, right? So taking a look at the back here, we've got this interesting artwork with the ARC Trooper looking all cool and amazing and all that. It's a photoshopped picture of some previous artwork that we've seen. And then here, this is just interesting. I will put up a picture. I will put up a picture right here. This is Mace Windu, and this artwork is Mace Windu photoshopped to look like the weak way Jedi. I just think it's really interesting how they went about creating all of these, artworks for the back of these packages. The clone troopers are all photoshopped off of renderings of like Revenge of the Sith and such, and the Jedi usually are already canon movie Jedi, but this one was unique, and I will get into why it was unique. So they just took Mace Windu and they just photoshopped some like horns along his jawline there, some dreadlocks, and whatever the like skin texture is for the weak way. It's really an interesting choice, and at the same time it's fun to look at that and see how they made do with creating these unique characters. Something else interesting to note is just here the lightsaber really looks yellow when it's green on the actual figure, and also this clone trooper has some leftover textures here, probably from when they did the Galactic Marine in this line, where he had like the Utapau markings there, so that's interesting. And then here it just says, Master Sev is a Jedi General in command of clone troopers aboard a Republic attack cruiser during the end of the Clone Wars. And that's all true, because this is one of those packs where it actually leads directly into Order 66. Some of the packs where we got like Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan Kenobi and stuff, it wasn't anything that we ever saw as an actual Order 66 scenario. This pack is an actual Order 66 scenario, and that's why I love it. This is probably one of my favorites because of that. But enough talking about the packaging and all that stuff. Let's break this open and take a look at the figures and get into why these are such interesting figures for Hasbro to make. And there we have it, all out of the package and ready to take a closer look at. We'll look at Master Sev first, and he's not to be confused with Clone Commando Sev. This is just a weak way Jedi that is seen in one of the comic books, and he is pretty cool. He uses a early 2005 Kit Fisto body with a custom made for this particular figure weak way head, again making him one of the few unique Jedi that came out of the Order 66 line. The robe coloration is also unique to this character. It's not the same as Kit Fisto, and that's a nice way to differentiate him, so it's not just a bunch of brown-robed Jedi, as I said before. He also comes with this soft goods cloak, which is something that the Kit Fisto figure did not have originally. So they've upgraded him in a few different respects for this particular 2-pack, and that's always nice to see. For articulation on this figure, he has a swivel head, a hinge and a swivel at the shoulder, as well as at the elbow. And then he's got a swivel at the wrist, which is just a little bit snug from taking him fresh out of the packaging. There is also a swivel at the waist, and then a swivel at the leg, which is impeded by this hard plastic tunic that he's got on. Then he has a hinge and swivel at the knee, with no articulation at the ankle. He also includes this really nice green lightsaber, which is always nice. The hilt does have a little peg there where it can slot onto his belt right over here. And then what makes this really nice is it's one of the few lightsabers. And then what makes this really nice is that it's one of the lightsabers where the blade can be detached, leaving the hilt to actually be able to be pegged onto his belt like so. Not every lightsaber has that feature, and it's nice when they do. It does make the lightsaber blade easy to lose, but I just liked having that feature where you can display the Jedi in less of a combat pose and just have them standing there with the lightsaber on their belt instead of, anywhere else. So there is Jedi Master Sev, and you're probably wondering where he is from and what the whole big deal is about this particular pack. So the characters seen here actually originate from this particular edition of the Star Wars Clone Wars Adventures. This is a really awesome comic book series that came out in the early 2000s. It was based loosely in that Tartakovsky animated Clone Wars like 2003 style, which I really loved. And each one of these volumes had like 4 to 6 different stories all about the Clone Wars and just various adventures and such like that. But in this particular one, this is volume 5. In this one, there is a story circulating about Order 66, and it's at the very end of this book. Let's see here. Yes, here we go. It's called The Order of Outcasts. And here you can actually see this is Master Sev. It says right here they're talking about Master Sev. So this is Jedi Master Sev, and this is his Padawan. Then a bit later, as the story progresses, it gets into Order 66, and this is the shot that you see where you have the clone commander in yellow armor standing over a dead Master Sev. And that is what this pack is based on. They took this really excellent scene from a kind of obscure comic series and they turned it into a full-fledged action figure. And I just think that is the coolest thing ever. There are a ton of different clone trooper designs in these books, lots of different Jedi, and they never really did anything with them. But with this particular one, they actually took the time to design and create a unique clone trooper and Jedi from the series. And you'll notice that even here on this figure, they took the time to have these panels here be blacked out and have the yellow only on the top, based on this design of the trooper where the yellow is only at the very top of the pauldron. That level of minor detail is really, really impressive. Now, the only thing that they did get kind of wrong is that this is a Phase 2 helmet, and they gave this commander a Phase 1 helmet. Not a huge issue, but it would have been really cool if we got a Alpha Arc action figure like this, but with the Phase 2 helmet. That just would have been the icing on the cake, basically. So with all of that explained, let's take a look at what I'm going to refer to as the Clone Commander. He might be an ARC Trooper, but to me, this guy is a Clone Commander. Now, first off, I'm just going to say I don't know what sculpt this guy is using. It could be that he's using a kit-bashed version of the Alpha 17 body, like the upper, and then his lower is maybe like the super articulated Clone Trooper body, and then I'm not really sure. But my best guess is that he is using the 2005 Evolution body. It's got the pouches here on the shoulder, and also just the same articulation overall with the swivel at the torso, the legs, and all that stuff. And even the sculpt on the legs is the same with these two, whereas if you compare this guy to the Alpha 17 mold, you can see that his legs have these molded bands on them where this guy does not. I know it's not the biggest issue to a lot of collectors, but I just want to bring up that issue because I really don't know what sculpt this guy is originally based off. He might be a kit bash of a couple different molds, or he might be, the Evolution mold. It's hard to say, but it's not the biggest deal. Here at the top, this guy actually has just a little bit of a paint defect where the stripe is a little off from the crest. Not a big deal, but just one of those things that happens with these figures. He does have a removable helmet, which reveals the lovely Tamora Morrison head sculpt that is typical with all of these commanders and ARC Troopers. He also has the big ARC Trooper pauldron that was made famous with Alpha 17 from that original comic pack. Like I mentioned before, he does have a slightly different paint application to his pauldron, where they didn't paint these front sections and left the top yellow. I think that just makes it all the more comic accurate, so it's not really a big deal to me. Moving down from there, we've got the swivel at the torso, and as a comma, he is using a repaint of the Commander Bakara comma. So he's got the yellow detail there with this nice dark gray as the main color. And that's really cool. And then just the rest of the articulation is all the same. He's got the usual wrist mounted thing. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be, like a comlink or a weapon of some kind that attaches around here to the pauldron. He's also got his ARC Trooper blaster rifle, which is really awesome. I love these. They're just such a cool design. I don't know. And really, that's about it then. I think this is probably one of the most interesting comic packs that we've got. Maybe not the best comic pack in terms of the characters that we got, but definitely one of the most interesting in that they use such an obscure source material to choose Master Sev and the ARC Trooper Commander for this pack. I really wish that they did this more often, honestly. I wish we hadn't gotten the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin repacks that we did, and instead got more unique Jedi like Kit Fisto, Aayla Secura, any of those, even if they were Revenge of the Sith repacks, would be really interesting to see instead of another Darth Vader, another Palpatine, you know, all those kinds of re-releases of different characters that we've already seen. But regardless of that, I'm really happy we got this one. Right after I am done filming this video, I'm actually going to do my best to recreate that scene from the comic book with dead Master Sev and the ARC Trooper kneeling over him. We'll see how that goes. If it turns out good, you can check it out on my Instagram. The link down in the description will take you to that, and you'll know whether or not I was successful with making this happen. This is the last part of every Order 66 2-pack ever, so this is part 12. It's been a really fun time opening all of these up and taking a look at them. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Thanks so much if you have been watching all of these. Be sure to leave a like on this video and comment down below, out of all 12 of these, which one was your all-time favorite. And let me know if you've picked up any of these recently, you know, maybe because of my videos. It's always awesome to hear what you guys are picking up as part of your collection, and maybe these videos convinced you to pick up some of these really awesome figures. So that wraps everything up, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video.